My name is Evelyn Galstad, or Eddy Galstad, as many people know me by. I graduated from Luther this spring, so in 2020. And I graduated, I majored while I was here, I majored in Nordic Studies and in voice. I was technically the 2019 recipient of the Brudos Prize. So I auditioned in the spring of 2019 to give the recital in the spring of 2020. But due to the world, I was able to postpone my recital and give it in October. I started in opera really early. I was in my first opera when I was 6 years old, and then was in my first large-scale opera when I was 8. I was in La Boheme, and that was kind of a life-changing thing for me because I realized this is a really cool art. It's it's epic in its entirety. You know, there can be ballets, there's an incredible orchestra, there are these fabulous singers, and the sets are incredible, you know? And so I kind of knew from an early age that this was definitely something I wanted to take further. But then I came to Luther, I was in opera scenes my freshman year, and then just kind of kept getting into it and kept falling in love with pieces and falling in love with this whole art form. As frustrating as it can be sometimes, because it's so intense, right? You practice a lot, the music is hard, the technique is hard, but it's worth it when you get to perform, for me. This is not ever what I pictured my year after college looking like. So I auditioned for all my graduate schools early in the year before the pandemic hit. I auditioned in January and February, and ended up getting admitted to IU the day before we were all sent home. As the world went on, it was pretty clear that making music would be pretty hard. It would be a pretty difficult task, and I didn't want to spend a year of my 2-year graduate school experience doing virtual lessons when I knew that I could be here working harder on my rep and giving my recital. The selection process is kind of intense. You submit a whole statement and a headshot and everything, and then you sing 2 pieces for the entire voice faculty. You actually sing on this stage, and they all sit out in the audience, and you're kind of waiting nervously backstage for your time to perform. And you come out on the stage, Dr. Schoenefeld's at the piano, and you sing your heart out, and then no one claps. And it's a really weird feeling when you're in such a big hall like this. But then we find out that night. And I was really fortunate to have won the prize. I worked for years, I guess, on the pieces that I performed. So what's different about it from your junior recital or whatever? So I gave my junior recital almost 2 years ago now. And it was kind of an accumulation of what you had learned while being at Luther. So I really wanted to pick pieces that were challenging and pick pieces that I had a connection to. So the first piece that I'm doing is called The Soldier Tired from War's Alarms. And anyone that's heard me sing it or heard it in general will tell you that it's kind of a scary piece because it's so unbelievably hard. And then there's my favorite set, I would have to say, is my Norwegian set. And it's not typical to have a Norwegian set on a recital. And the theme of that set is water, because the composer Edvard Grieg is someone who's really near and dear to my heart. And the way he depicts water, I think, is just so special. And the stories that he tells through not only his music, but through the poetry he selects is really incredible, and I wanted to showcase that in this recital. The Brudos family are the people, they sponsor the prize. And Alan and Sally are kind of the 2 main figures in this story, but normally their whole family and friends, they would all come to the recital, and then afterwards we'd have a fun dinner. I've been in close contact with Sally for the last several months. She actually sent me this necklace. It's the San Francisco Opera House's chandelier, but in necklace form, and she has a matching one. And they have been just huge supporters of mine, and they are just the kindest, sweetest people to keep sponsoring this prize. And they just really have hearts of gold, and I couldn't ask for better benefactors. And I'm lucky that they are going to be able to tune into the recital, and that I am going to get to share this with them in a way. I know that they're looking forward to this recital just as much as I am, and they are really great people, and Luther is really lucky to have people like them in their community. It's going to be weird, that's for sure, and it's not going to be something I'm used to because I have done the whole sing on this stage thing before. I'm lucky enough to have had that experience. I think the biggest change is wearing a mask while singing. I don't think I ever imagined that I would be singing these really high notes with my mouth wide open and then it be covered by a big mask, but I've learned to adapt, and that's probably been one of the most challenging aspects of giving this recital, is learning to adapt. Any way we get to make music these days is a privilege, right? So I was happy to make that adjustment after I kind of practiced and got over the initial anxiety. It'll definitely be different, not singing for a full house, but it's been nice to know what it'll feel like when I'm rehearsing in here and there's nobody in here, because I think the only people that are going to be in here are me, Dr. Shadefelt, and like my parents and Dr. Anderick, right? It'll be so different not getting a reaction from the audience like you would typically. Like you can hear people go, or you can hear people like kind of feel the music, or like they are understanding what you're conveying. But I hope that that can still be achieved virtually, even though I can't see it. And there's no really precedent either, you know? Like this is, because I'm kind of the first student, even though I'm no longer a student, to do this. And I think it's a really good chance for me to serve kind of as a model for other students and tell them that like, even if your rep is really hard too, like you can also sing in a mask and be successful, because at the end of the day, like the fact that you're doing this at all like is a testament to how hard we've all worked and how important this art is to you.